Hello guys, welcome to StudyIQ. My name is Amit Sani and I welcome you in this daily Hindu analysis video. In the morning these videos come, in the evening the PIB videos they come. And the PDF you will get on the Telegram channel and the Facebook group that I've given on the last page. And important questions we are discussing. Do not miss the PIB lessons also, and very crucial details are there. So these are most reliable sources, and let's start the lesson. 23rd of April it is. Accept both compliments and criticism. It takes both sun and rain for a flower to grow. First of all, life never goes towards extremes. It all runs on balance. Whether it's pH, whether it's temperature, whether it's pressure, it is all a fine balance. And it's a combination of many qualities, many things. And the balance which is actually present there between that. And that combination is really great. You are a person, you are a combination of different qualities, and ultimately there is a resultant image and a resultant character and personality of yours. So if you want to improve, then do struggle. With the struggle and with the time only, you can improve your qualities. And you see, compliments and criticism, they both are balancing your personality. If you are only demanding compliments, and if you are only becoming self-centered, so after some time certainly you will become a psychopath. Why? Because a long period of time where you have been self-centric, megalomaniac, then you will certainly miss many things, and you will become so weak from inside that you will never be able to take a criticism. This is happening. We are observing this thing with many prominent people in the society today. We can observe that. So criticism is equally beneficial. It balances your mind, otherwise your mind will be lost. And compliment and criticism, these are two important poles which keeps you in between. So always try to find that balance, always try to find that particular middle path. Buddha also talked about the middle path. So these two, when will be invited by you equally, then you will find the middle path and you will go in a balanced manner. And in a balance only we can survive. And the person who survives for longer period of time, these people are much more balanced. So always appreciate criticism also and compliments also. Only criticism will stress you, demoralize you. Only compliments will make you super confident and overconfident, and you will miss your qualities after some time and you will become weaker. So this is a very nice example of a flower where sunlight and rain both are needed. Both things are totally opposite, but both things are needed. So this is a very beautiful line. It was there. Now these are the numbers, and these are important courses created by experts and available on the StudyIQ website also. You can inquire about them. All are important courses, and you can get the feedback from many students about these courses. So this is all your chance. Maximum limit prescribed under Rule 90 of the Conduct of Election Rule 1961. A candidate can spend up to, I made a mistake here, I did not mention Lok Sabha or Vidhan Sabha. If it is Vidhan Sabha, then 28 lakhs are allowed. If it is Lok Sabha, then 70 lakhs are allowed. So 70 lakh is the limit here, and that is being crossed totally. Next, right now the number of principal organs of the UN, mainly there are 6 official organs: General Assembly, Security Council, and ECOSOC, okay, and these specialized agencies and all, and other important secretariat and all these are important organs. 6 organs are there. But if they ask you how many are the active organs, then these are 5 organs, because since 1994 the Trusteeship Council, which used to be there, that is no more there, because Trusteeship Council was created for the trusted territories, but there are no trusted territories today, and all have become countries and republics. So Republic of Palau became a country in 1994, and Trusteeship Council is inactive since then. So there are 6 official organs, but 5 are active organs. But it is not asking about the active and inactive organs, so answer would be D. Next, IMF is holding the maximum gold reserve in the world as an entity. This is wrong. America actually has the maximum reserve of gold. IMF stands third. IMF is not a country, it's a group, but as an entity it stands third. India stands at 10th in the list. If they ask you about the countries list or the central banks list, then India stands 10th. But Overall, when IMF is also there in the list, then India would stand at 11th. So both are wrong options here. Okay. Now the map question: Rishikula River, Gahid Beach, Subarnrekha River, Mahi River. You see in the map, Mahi is rising from Madhya Pradesh and going towards north, crossing the Tropic of Cancer, entering southern Rajasthan, Banswara, Dungarpur districts, and again coming towards Gujarat, and ultimately going towards Gulf of Khambat. So crossing the Tropic of Cancer twice. Now the map question for you today: find out all the rivers which are crossing Tropic of Cancer, Capricorn and Equator, and how many times they are crossing individual rivers, in which country these rivers are, and in which continent you are finding them. So these are important questions regarding rivers of the world, and this is today's question for you. Now in the map, when you will look at the map, always observe the particular status of the map, how much zoomed out this map is. You see, this is a zoomed out map, this is a zoomed in map. It is showing Odisha only, it is showing whole India. So when you will look at this kind of map, a bigger map, or maybe you will look at the world map, then you will be able to observe this thing, that which countries are on which latitude and which countries are south to it and north to it. You can see here Rajasthan is certainly, you can see about this latitude. Tropic of Cancer goes through like this. Okay, so this is Tropic of Cancer, and you can see here Rajasthan's southern point is here, and Odisha is below that. Subarnrekha is here, it is on the boundary of Odisha and West Bengal. So Subarnrekha, this is Mahi, so Mahi would be on the top, and then these Baitarani, Brahmani and the Mahanadi river, they are all making an important net of these distributaries. This is Chilika Lake, and Rishikula river is here, and Vanshadhara is river here. These two are independent rivers going towards Bay of Bengal, and these are having many tributaries and distributaries. So the answer would be 4, 3, 2, 1. Mahi, Subarnrekha and Gahid Mata and Rishikula river, because Gahid Mata beach, it is here. Okay, this is here, and Abdul Kalam Island is also here. Okay, so this is Gahid Mata beach, and the important Bhitarkanika National Park is also located here. So this is the place, very important, famously for olive ridley turtles. Gahid Mata beach is the largest mass nesting place in the world. Okay, now you can see here Vanshadhara and Rishikula, independent rivers going towards Bay of Bengal. And ports, you must remember, you see Balihar Chandi port, and this is Paradip port here. Paradip port is here, and this is Brahmani and Mahanadi's important distributaries network. So Paradip port is here, and Dhamra port, very important port, is here at the end of the Kendrapada district. This point is important here, where Baitarani and Salandi river, they are pouring their water. So Dhamra port is here. This is Chandipur island and Chandipur port, and the Subarnrekha is here. It is making the boundary between Bengal and Odisha, and these all other important rivers. Remember that. Next, these are the words that I found today, and try to use them in sentences. Okay, now we will discuss this article briefly. Some points are repeated, some points are really important on the ethical scale, on the important image of India. The National Security Advisor M.K. Narayanan is commenting here, important for GS paper 2 and 3 both. This point, this is raising a very important point regarding females' right of their bodies, of their reproduction, sexual rights, and these things are missing in the manifestos, and also it is talking about a very important social issue and a gender issue also. So GS paper 1 and 2 both. In this particular article, the writer says that the way the trade is suspended on a line of control, and Salamabad and Chakadabad, two important points were there where this trade was going on, and now it has been suspended due to some security reasons. Some smuggling was going on regarding the drugs and weapons and all. So it's a very sensitive issue, we cannot allow that. That's for sure. That is why on 18th of April MHA actually gave this direction, and it is all suspended. But you see the overall situation of Kashmir, it is actually going towards a deteriorating phase. And some days back they were struggling with the ban on highways and all, and the movement was restricted a lot, and there they were protesting a lot. And now in the POK region the issue is of security. Because of that they have suspended the trade. That is really important. For the last 10 years it has grown up to 6,000 crore rupees, and barter system is going on. It is very, very important for lakhs of people who are living on both the sides of this particular line of control. So many lives they are disturbed because of this, and you can see hardly they can survive without this trade for a very long period of time. Already they are struggling a lot, so this is really important. And when agreement was signed in 2000s, and they hoped in mid 2000s, around 2005 and 6, that these things are going to improve, and the trade and all these things, they will get a good growth in the upcoming phase. But now things are going towards a negative phase, a backward direction. So people are hopeless, and they are protesting heavily here in this area, and overall situation is going out of the hands. Today it's a very testing phase for the government, for the military, for the people, all the stakeholders. They are struggling a lot, and for which concerns they are consistently fighting. These are to be discussed, because without the resolution things cannot go peaceful, and it's a most sensitive area for India, and it's a kind of a place where India-Pakistan relations and its trajectory, that is going to be decided, because it is the POK area and it is the LOC, and things are really sensitive. All the important terror camps and all, they are present there on the POK side, and these weapons and all, if they are coming, they are supporting these terrorist activities in the area, and because of that we are losing consistently our soldiers. People are also disturbed, what not we have seen in the last 2-3 years. So this is really a testing phase, and certainly government has to decide something really basic about the area. Otherwise, you see, security reasons will remain, and because of that we will not allow these kind of things. We can never allow, because if weapons and drugs are being smuggled, then how can we allow the trade? So more and more security we would need. And second thing, the other side is also very, very genuine, where people is concerned. They are really genuine, and how can we ignore their plight? So that is also the issue. So line of caution is there, and we have to allow this, because the agreement is also there, and we need to impose that agreement also. So now we need to see how government decides about it in the upcoming future. This is regarding Sri Lanka situation. We discussed about that. ISIS involvement has been cited here, but many more details are gonna come. We will discuss this important article where allegations are there on CGI, and the writer Kalpana says that the procedure which is being followed, and the way they are dealing with the lady who is putting these allegations and all, these things are not going in the right direction, and it is not according to the constitutional way. Maybe judiciary is a very important organ, and it is bearing many responsibilities, and there may be conditions, but certainly the law has its own way, and in the same way these things should proceed. Otherwise it's same like any other case where the lady who is putting an allegation, she is tortured, and she is humiliated, and she is seen as the culprit there. So these kind of dealings should not be there, and certainly CJI's role is really confusing and questionable here, where he have become the part of this bench and open hearing they are inviting. So this thing is something problematic. So we will discuss that in brief, and GS paper 2 would be important here. Next, in this article, MK Narayanan says that when on March 27th, first of all, the date and the time is a really questionable by all the people, all the countries, and the people of India. Why this time? This is the biggest question. Why this time we chose this? Second, what kind of capacity is added here, because it is extension of India's ballistic program for sure. And in any country where these kind of testings they have been done in the past, three countries, China, America and Russia, so these were part of the ballistic missile program. So certainly it is a step towards a weaponization, and the weaponization of space we cannot support, because it is our legacy, the legacy of ISRO and scientists, where we took all the steps for humanity. It was a global progress, it was not India's progress, and we were a country of more than billion people. So it's a collective responsibility that space is used in a peaceful way, because we are a certain percentage of the world's population. We are around 1/6 of the world's population. So very responsible country we are, and this world needs peace. This thing is totally allowed that we add in our capacities, but how much capacity was added with this ASAT technology? That is disputed here. The countries which have done these things, America and Russia, they did it decades back in the Cold War phase. So it was a Cold War phenomena, and that is not much appreciated these times. And today they are testing some laser beams and all to neutralize the killer satellite and all. And here that thing again would be disputed, which satellite is going to be a killer one. So how much capacity we added? There is a confusion. And certainly this thing is less than the capacity of atom bombs. So it is not a huge escalation in our capacities. And second thing, when escalation was going on with Pakistan and all, so what message we are giving in the world at this time when we are doing this kind of testing? And the most questionable thing is that maybe official authorities, they would have gone with a capacity addition and all these things, but the rhetoric which was seen by the Prime Minister's message that we are way more powerful, a country India is capable of performing as chowkidar in space and all. So all these statements are certainly not a good message for this world, because capacity addition is invited. The atom bomb experiment, that was totally invited, and because that added a lot of capacity and that gave us a great support in this world. But this technology, how much addition is there, we are not sure, and we need to see that in the future. And certainly when China did this experiment in 2007, China was opposed by these countries. Certainly it was opposed, but today we are more closer with America, Israel and all these countries. So we have got some support, but some issues like the space debris and all, they are given to us as a caution. But certainly we have crossed the Rubicon here, and the intelligent assessment is that we assess the positivities and negativities associated with this experiment. Positivity is that we are the fourth nation now after Russia, America and China, and no other country has this capability. Maybe France and Israel, they have this capacity, but they are ignoring it because it is the issue of image, because space is under this unwritten agreement that nobody is gonna use it negatively or in a weaponization way. But we are certainly openly endorsing this issue, and the country like India, which is a torch bearer of the peace in this world, wherever we go, Gandhi is our icon, because it is the icon of peace. So because of our image, we were supported in the nuclear issue. We did not sign the CTBT, and instead of that we did a civil nuclear deal with America and all, because they believed us that they will be using the no first use policy. And this is all because of India's image. So all the officials of the past, they are saying that we are actually destroying our image of the peaceful nation. We are posing ourselves as a more aggressive nation now. And what is the need here? We cannot solve our challenges with the aggression. This is all about the important discussion and the tactical diplomatic capacity. Wars cannot solve our issues. We have fought wars, but we have never believed war. But now we are showing that we believe in war. We believe in aggression, and we believe in finding solutions through war. And we are no more a peaceful nation, and we can destroy any country and all these kind of messages are being told indirectly to the world. And the world is observing all these things, all these tendencies which are rising in the nation. It is not about this ASAT. It is about the overall image of India. Recently we saw a picture when lady was pointing a gun towards Gandhi's effigy. So these kind of things, they are observable by the world. And you see, when we are gonna go into that league where these countries are going in a race, that which is more powerful a country, so at that time there is no trust for India, and there will be no good image for India, because it will be equal to other countries. And whatever we have achieved for thousands of years, we gave this world the important knowledge. So these all things would be lost, because we are no more capable to keep our conscience and keep our patience alive, and we are going into that race. So why this particular thing was done? Because it is totally a message of weaponization of the space, and where we have not achieved in our great capacities, and we are actually spoiled our image in a way. India's space program is always a civilian one. In 1969, ISRO was established, and these important scientists like Vikram Sarabhai, then Satish Dhawan, now UR Rao and K. Kasturi Rangan, they all are taking this legacy for the civilian use of space program. And we have achieved a lot of things. You see, GSLV was sent in 2001. In 1975 only we sent Aryabhat there, and ISRO launched Chandrayaan 1 in 2008, and Mars orbiter mission in 13. All things are for whole world, for whole humanity, and it is helping scientists and this whole world for a better future. But what is the meaning of weaponization of the state? If we are looking for the better future, there is no better future with the weaponization. Fears and scares, they cannot give a good future to any person in the world, to any nation. So why a peaceful country like India, which has never attacked any country, why we are sending these kind of signals to the world, and what we want to become here? There is no doubt about our capacities. So why we want to hail ourselves as a destroyer and all, and these kind of image? These are amateurish things. Okay, so the mature talks about peace, and the amateur talks about war. The person who has never seen a war, he will always talk about the war, and the person who has fought the war, that person would talk about the peace. So this is showing the immaturity in our political class, and certainly these kind of rhetorics are against our image. And again, I'm repeating here, according to the writer, that there is no defying to the increase in our capacity. We should increase our capacity for sure, but it is not adding a great capacity, and it is taking a toll on our image more. So this is the issue. Okay, all these points we have discussed here, which are given in the article. Next, a half written promise. In this article, the writer says that election manifestos, they are accepting some important things regarding gender issues. Even they are talking about the Suvidha scheme, where sanitary pads are going to be given for a rupee 1 cost. So these kind of things are progressive. Certainly these are a welcome move in our Indian society, but the issue is of equality, and where the nature has created differences. You see, a female can only bear the child, so the right over her sexual health, sexual life, and reproductive life, and all these changes in her body, and all her things attached to these sensitive things, these rights should be there with the female. That is the right the whole world is talking about, the whole female community is talking about. And if we really want to achieve the equality, then these things should be discussed openly, and mainly the people who are leaders there, who are making these manifestos and all, and who can show a light to the society. A conservative society like India, they will show the path, then the society will walk on that. If there is no path, where they will go? So these initiatives should have been there. But you see, the writer says that we are missing some things here. Although these things are not very simple things to talk about in our society, and mainly in the politics, which is considered to be the most conservative one, and they are talking about the majority opinion. The populism is all over there. So when populism is there and they are talking about the people's choices, then they are hardly gonna raise these points where female sexuality and adultery and all these rights regarding the reproduction and abortion issues. These things are really a social taboo in India. So that is why the writer says that we need to go ahead here and we need to take some steps here. Safe abortion, you see the issue of abortion, and mainly in the case of unmarried girl, this becomes a point of disaster in her life, where some parents would even push her to go and end your life. You have become pregnant before the marriage. This is totally unacceptable even in dreams for Indians, for conservative society like India. So these kind of things create havoc in a girl's life, because she was not only involved in that, maybe some other person, the other guy, not maybe, for sure that person is involved, and maybe the consent is not taken, and maybe for a newly married girl or maybe a woman, if she becomes pregnant, so it is not totally her consent or totally her decision. Sometimes it is imposed. Maybe she doesn't want to give birth at this time, but this right is no more there with us, with her. So at that time abortions are done, and abortions are conducted through unprofessional ladies or something, because they do not want to reveal these kind of things. These are really disastrous things for the Indian families if the girl has become pregnant before the marriage. So they will totally abandon the girl, or maybe they will hide it from the whole world. So at this time, when these abortions and all are done through unprofessionals, and also many girls die. They die because of unprofessional medical facilities are there, and the procedures, they may bring many disease infection, and at that time many lives are lost. And this is all because of the fear of the society, and because we do not have these kind of legal rights, so we need rights. Landmark decisions are given by Supreme Court, like in the adultery case, like in the 377 case, and in some privacy case, where in Puttaswamy judgment was there regarding the sexual intimacies and the personal intimacies, all these cases which were related to the person's privacy. So these are fundamental rights. So now they have legal backing, so people can surely assert the rights, and they will not care about these fears, and there can be a better society if all things are under individuals' control, not in the society's control. So people should exercise the control by themselves. These things should not come by the society, and these fears certainly should not be there. So it is innovative certainly for India, and human rights of a girl child are very much alive and kicking. This thing was also upheld in the case of Independent Thought versus Union of India by Deepak Gupta and M.B. Lokur, the justices in the Supreme Court. So these are landmark judgments giving power to this phenomena. And you see these cases like MTP Act, Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act, the abortion issue, that is very controversial in whole world. Here the rights should be there with the females, and these things should be backed. If we really want to give equality to girls, then these things are the basic things which are needed, because the inequality is created here at the basis. If nature has done some specific things, and there is a difference between a female and male, so some exclusive rights should be there with the female, because she is suffering more here. So that's the issue, that's the logic of it. Okay, safe abortions, certainly this is the most important point made here, and because it is about the women's right, women's health, and a female's assertion over her bodily changes, or you may say her right over her body. So these things should be asserted by the girl only. Okay, next, the code is not above the constitution. In this article, the writer Kalpana Kannabiran says that law is equal to all, and it doesn't matter who is putting allegation on whom. If a girl's sanctity is violated, and if the girl is abused, or maybe she is disturbed by some other person, physically or mentally, then the allegation should certainly come, and there should not be any pressure, any fear for her. But you see, there is a equal case of innocence and wrong allegations also. Truth can be anything. We cannot say that the Chief Justice of India is an innocent person, and we cannot equally say that the woman is 100% right, because this thing is to be decided, because both cases are there. Cases are there in India where highest officials and all, they are involved in some kind of misbehavior. Cases are certainly there where some fake cases are imposed on some very responsible people. So in this case, you see, both are educated persons, and the case of misbehaviors we have seen all over India and all over the world. We see them. Okay, highest level authorities and the people who are having these positions, many allegations are there. Allegations are there on Trump also. But the issue is that the way she puts allegation, the procedure should be equal to all. And the issue is that the way Bar Council of India and even Chief Justice of India, they have submitted, they have behaved, that is not appropriate, because the person cannot become a member of the special bench where allegations are there on himself. So how can he decide about the case that is there upon him only? So this is the problem in this case. Maybe CJI is innocent, maybe some other allegations which are there, which are against him, and they are not correct. Maybe it is the possibility because some other advocate from Supreme Court, he has said that I was offered 1.5 crore rupees just to malign the image of Chief Justice of India. So there may be possibilities, but the procedure should be followed, and the woman should never be humiliated in any way, any possible way, because open hearing they are inviting here. So maybe some humiliation would be there for women, and all are more towards CJI's position, and they are protecting him, as they say that we know that person, and the things which are being said against him, these things are not possible. Maybe these things are not possible, but certainly the procedure should follow, and law should be equal to all, and constitution prevails. Judiciary is just an organ, and constitution is a bigger document here. That is the law of the land, supreme law of the land. So this is how. And you see, Supreme Court in the past, it talks about dissent, it talked about all these upholding and all, and the judicial activism we have seen in many cases. So in this case also, when it is the case of gender bias mainly, and where all these dissents are always crushed, okay, in normal cases, in cases in villages and small cities and all, where many times we see that women's voice, that is crushed always. So this liberty and the dissents issue, that becomes much more important in these cases. Okay, and the privacy issue, you see, it becomes very difficult for both the categories. If these people are innocent, then it becomes very difficult. If the woman is abused, then it becomes very difficult for her to complain about it and prove that thing, because that thing is always done in the secrecy. So how she can prove about that? And if the male is innocent, then again it becomes very difficult for him to prove that particular thing. So both sides are there. It's a perfect dilemma, and these cases are really very complex. So they need to see how these things go. But certainly the procedure should be equal to all, and the way they have behaved, this is not the proper way. That more allegations and more humiliation is for the woman. That's the case here. So expectation of citizens is that the Supreme Court will lead by example, not by arbitrary diktat. So maybe Supreme Court is involved here, but if the law is violated, and you see the laws are important here, Vishaka guidelines, which were released by Supreme Court only in 1997, which were superseded by the Act of 2013, the Act of the harassment on the workplace, the Act which came in 2013. So these things were initiated by Supreme Court only, And in this case where the case is in the workplace and the abuse is there, and the female says that she was touched all over the body, so these kind of things were done in a workplace. So we cannot say that Supreme Court's image comes in between, because it is the direct case between the woman and the Chief Justice of India. And even we should not say Chief Justice of India, we should say a person, Ranjan Gogoi, was there. But certainly, if that person is innocent, then surely it is the case of Chief Justice of India, and the Supreme Court's issue is there. So they need to see it. And the issue that it is judiciary's important body, that would come after the resolution is there, after the clarity is there, after the guilt or after the allegation is proved. After that we can say that it's the judiciary and its image at stake, and there is a attempt to malign the image of judiciary, to make it weaker. Okay, next, US warns nations against trade with Iran. You see, US the waiver is ended for India now. 6 months it was given in November, and now CAATSA is important here. You see, USA talked about CAATSA, countering America's adversary through sanctions, and it is regarding the adversaries Russia, Iran. America takes them as adversaries, and whoever is gonna be involved with these countries in terms of trade and all, it will counter those countries with CAATSA. So if we are importing oil after May, so maybe America talks about it. So this is the issue, and we are becoming closer, but certainly America puts its interest above everything, and India is not that much a great partner for America, that much great an enemy Iran is for America. That is for sure, and that is seen totally under Trump's administration. And you see, it openly says that any country would be involved with Iran, then we will counter that country. So Iran is a member of OPEC. It's a founding member. 5 countries, Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia and Venezuela, they founded OPEC in 1960 in Iraq, in Baghdad. Okay, now the headquarters there in Vienna, Austria. 44% of global oil production is there with these countries. 14 countries are there, and 81% proven reserves are there in the OPEC countries. So since 2007, OPEC has published World Oil Outlook and annual statistical bulletin. So these things will remain important in the prelims this year, and India has to see these implications, that how we are going to decide about these things after May. We need to talk with America, because Iran is a major partner and we are importing a lot here, and America says that Saudi Arabia is going to balance this thing and we can also export these things. So there are major producers, and it is not necessary that we are doing trade with Iran, because Iran is our enemy, and we will not allow that. America says that. Okay, so that is to be seen. And in this picture you see the biggest producers in the darker regions: America, Russia and Saudi Arabia. So they are having reserves and they are producing maximum here. Iran is also producing heavy amounts. After Saudi Arabia, it is Iran's number in terms of production in the OPEC countries. So Iran will be hit certainly. Economically, it is going to be a huge sanction against it, but we need to see what develops further. These are 14 countries. Indonesia and Qatar used to be there, but they are no more a country. Qatar stopped from being the member since January 1 this year, and Indonesia was out in 2008. So these two are no more the members of OPEC. Certainly this can be asked this year, and these are 14 members. One more interesting event that I talked about in the PIB lesson yesterday: Ukrainian choose comedian Zelensky as next president. He's the youngest one, 41 years, and he campaigned for the jailed inmates of Ukraine in Russian jails and all these campaigns were there. He has got humongous support. 74% votes are for him, and the president Poroshenko, he has got only 24% of votes. So that's really a big change in the game. Okay, next, Gokhale, India's foreign secretary, meets Wang Li, the foreign minister of China. The visit is very, very important, and they are talking about many issues, and they are saying that the Azhar Masood issues and all, those are under this 1267 resolution of UNSC. That's a different thing, and we will not spoil our relation for that. They both are committed for that thing. But certainly this issue did not talk much about this Masood Azhar's case, and normally these things are avoided when direct meetings, high level meetings are there, so that not any confrontation and no any face off would be there. Okay, so that is important, and they may ask you who is the foreign secretary. These highest officials are very important here. Next, Hindustan Zinc aims to double silver production in 5 years. You see, we are the largest consumer of the silver. We are largest consumer of the gold also, and today we are not at that place. This list is for the gold holders. USA gold reserves maximum, and China as 10th, because it is only talking about the central banks. IMF is not there, otherwise India would be on 11th position. So this is about gold, and this is about silver. Mexico is the biggest producer of silver in this world, and India is largest consumer and largest importer also of silver. Okay, 21% share of the global silver demand is there with India. Silver is a major part of our rituals and all, and marriage ceremonies and all. So silver is heavily used here. So that's the issue. So they may ask you about this Hindustan Zinc Limited, that which company has appeared in the world's second largest global silver production. They are targeting the second largest production, and it is 9th largest silver producer in the world. 9th largest, Hindustan Zinc Limited. And you see, zinc mines are there in Zawar, southern Rajasthan, in Udaipur. So zinc we produce from there. So remember that. And silver is also produced in the zinc mines. Next, third important campaign is ended now, and for 117 seats they will go to polls for third phase of the election. And you see, whole Gujarat is there, Kerala is there, and half of the Karnataka and half of the Maharashtra, and other important seats in Chhattisgarh and all. So they are going for the polls. It's going to be very, very important this year and this time, and 1640 candidates, they will see their fate. Next, as I talked about it, US ends waiver for India on Iran oil, and we have discussed the issue here. Now these are the MCQs. Try their answers, and the PDF you will get on the Telegram group and the Facebook group here. Thanks a lot. We will meet again tomorrow, and revise all these details, revise the questions that I have given you in the past, and we will keep this thing continued till the examination and for the. And thanks a lot. Keep watching.